Okay, so I haven't thrown a video up on YouTube in quite some time, and I wanted to show everybody another trade, but I also particularly wanted to show everybody the Jigsaw Depth and Sales platform. On my site, I did post a link to a presentation I did with Peter Davies over at Jigsaw Trading. We did a ninja presentation last year, and I discussed some things about the Jigsaw platform. And unfortunately, that video was a little out of sync with the audio, which made it difficult to follow. But there was also no order placement feature at that point in time. So just to give you a quick breakdown so you kind of understand what's going on here, Peter at Jigsaw contacted me a while back. It's been over a year, probably a year and a half ago. And he knew that I followed the order flow. That was kind of my style, and he wanted to show me his platform. And to be honest, I mean, I'm contacted by people all the time, so it usually takes a little while for me to look into something because I don't use charts or indicators very much or anything of that nature. And so he showed me this platform, and I finally took the time to take a look at it. And what I realized was, this guy had done something that should have been done 10 years ago. And why it wasn't, I don't even know. Maybe it was in some, maybe some guys at private firms have done it, of which I'm not aware, but there was nothing like this for the retail trader. And what I'm going to show you here, see, this is why a lot of people don't understand how there's any information to be gleaned from reading the order flow. All they see is all these blinking numbers, here and there and everywhere, and it just doesn't make any sense. Particularly if you're watching on a subpar type depth of market platform where it's really hard to follow the prints. Now, I've been an Xtrader user for years because I always thought you could follow the prints on Xtrader better than on any other platform. Even still, sometimes you'll lose track of the prints on Xtrader. And so what the Jigsaw platform here has done is it's split the prints up with the upticks and downticks, and it's made it a lot easier to follow what's happening in the market. So what I've done here is I've opened up a video recording that I have. And this was made about 2 weeks ago. I was doing an advanced webinar, and actually the webinar was over, and I happened to be watching the S&P in the afternoon. My screen was open because I kept looking for them to eventually sell the market off, possibly. Not something I normally do. I've usually done in the mornings, but in this particular day, I was working on stuff, and I had my screen open, and I was watching this action kind of play out over here in the S&P. So I'm going to walk you through this trade, which is, there's nothing genius about this trade or it's not like this fantastic strategy. It's actually pretty simple, but it's allows me to very clearly illustrate how the Jigsaw platform works and kind of what kind of an edge you can get from using the Jigsaw platform and why I've made the conversion. Just to get this out of the way, I'm not in business with Peter at Jigsaw, and we don't have any kind of a business deal at all. I think he offers a really great platform, and I use it personally, and I use it to teach. I think it's a great teaching tool, and I think it's a great learning tool for anybody who's trying to understand how to read the order flow. And at the same time, he's familiar with my webinars and my material, and he knows that I've been around the block and I understand the game. And he knows that people that come to him, looking to learn the order flow, that they might be able to learn something from me, particularly if they're looking to do the scalping type strategies and very short-term oriented type plays, because that's what I focus on. So what's happened here is he just recently released a version which allows you to place orders directly from the depth of market. This is a really awesome tool. So it looks like Xtrader or CQG or CTS or any of the others. You can now place orders directly on the platform, and that's kind of what I was waiting for. It had started out just as a tool that you could use while you're watching another depth of market. So you could watch the prints on this, but then you had to place your orders on Xtrader, for example. I'd have to watch this and place my orders on Xtrader. So it wasn't really ideal for me because I watch 3 platforms. I usually watch the treasuries, and I trade 3 markets. Those 3 markets: the 10-year, the 30-year, and the 5-year. The 5-year is hidden right now underneath my S&P platform. This is the S&P here on the far right-hand side. 10-year on the left, 30-year in the middle, and the 5 years underneath. You can just see it right there with the market profile. So I needed to be able to place orders directly from the platform. And they finally got this version released, and I was doing some beta testing with them, offering my ideas, basically, kind of what I liked, what I didn't like, what I needed, what I didn't need, etc., etc. And they're very good about working with all their beta customers and people, and designing the software to suit the customer, essentially. And they've done a really good job of it. So just to break it down for you, right now, Jigsaw is an add-on to NinjaTrader. So you get the NinjaTrader platform, you add Jigsaw on as a third-party add-on, and then you can build these DOMs, these depth of market platforms, from within it. And then you can use your Ninja for whatever. Like down here, you'll see, like I have the charts for all the markets down here, the ES, the ZF, ZN, ZB. You can also have any additional indicators you want to use within NinjaTrader open, and then you can have your depth of market open. And of course, I primarily trade strictly off depth of market, so this is what I watch most of the day. So let's get to it so I can kind of show you this thing in action. I needed to give you a background on this so you understand why I'm doing the video, essentially. I will probably be doing another one here in the next few weeks, and I'll show another treasury trade that I've made. But this will be a really good trade to demonstrate the Jigsaw platform for you guys, and you can kind of make your own call based on this. So what we have going on here is, like I said, this is the ES. So you got your S&P 500 over on this side. I have this recording. I'm basically recording over a recording that I already made. So I have my play and pause button down here. You'll see me be using this to start and stop the video. And then I have my cursor here that I'll be using to go back and forth like so. Etc., etc. And then I have some time here that sort of helps me keep track of where I am in the video. And over here, what you have are it's the Jigsaw section that shows you your orders. So they're hidden under my 10-year at the moment, but what you see is this is my ES order placement box, and I have it on a 5 lot at the moment. You can place limit order, stop limit, or auto orders, day, good till canceled. You can increase, decrease, etc. This is where your account goes. And then you'll see this pops up whenever you get filled. So whenever you see me make this trade, you're going to see this become a -5 in red over here, and so that shows you that you're filled. So this is where you follow your orders. You can set this up in all kinds of different ways. You can move these columns around however you want to put them, wherever you want to put them. There's various properties you can set. You can change all the colors around, and most people stick with the standard of blue and red, but you can make them purple and pink polka dot if you want. The way I have it set up is whenever they're printing up into the offer, I have it go green. So that's why you see the green around the 558, the green around the 377, the green around a 1 lot. That means a 1 lot printed up into this offer right here. And when they trade down, it'll go red over top of this. And you'll see the orders accumulate. So basically what you're seeing here, so I can kind of point this out to you, for example, is I'm gonna hit play. So right there, you saw that one go from 1 to 6, 1 to 7, 1 to 9. All right. So what's happening there is this is showing the orders accumulate at the offer. So right there, you had a 1 lot goes green into the price of 75, and then it trades another 2, another 3, or whatever. So a total of 9 at this particular juncture trade up into the offer at $14.97.75, and then you get a print down into 49,750 or 1497.50, and that'll turn this red, and then you'll see it accumulate. So as it goes back and forth, rather than having to watch each individual trade go off, so what would normally happen is you wouldn't see this at all. And like if you look at my X-Trader videos, here's what you'll see. You'll see 9 trade, and then it'll trade down, and it'll show like 5 or 6 trade in the X-Trader. And the only way to follow the accumulation is by the market profile here. So this is the volume at price, total volume at price for this day at each price. So far 32,789 have traded at 1497.50, right? So let's say 100 lot trades down into 97.50, and as soon as it does, a 10 lot trades back up into 97.75. Well, on your normal depth of market platform, you would see that 100 flash, and then you would see the 9 lot, let's say, flash back up, or a 10 lot, but you may not even see the 100 flash if you're not watching. And so the only way to keep track of how many are trading here is by watching this accumulate. So you would have had to mentally kind of keep track. That was at 32,689. Now it's at 32,789. That means 100 lot has traded. Anybody who follows the S&P particularly, I mean, treasuries are a little bit slower, but the S&P is extremely fast sometimes. There's almost no way to follow it within the market profile. And it's back and forth all the time. So you're constantly losing track of what your prints are. Now, I'll challenge you right here and now. Watch this platform, watch what you're going to see on this Jigsaw depth and sales, and run this up against any other depth of market out there that doesn't have this. And you're going to see what I mean. It's just such a total difference in being able to see the information. And once you start to see how you can see the print so much more clearly, you'll begin to understand why it's valuable information. You know what I mean? So this goes back to what I was talking about earlier, where a lot of people don't know why it's valuable information because they don't see all the prints. They don't really see what's happening. They're watching a depth of market that's not showing them this, and so they can't follow it. So they don't know how to use it. Well, obviously they don't know how to use it because they're not getting the right information. So this depth of market really gives you a clear picture of what's happening within the volume. So as you begin to see the volume accurately, which is something you may have never seen before, you can begin to understand how this information can be valuable, okay? So what happens, for example, the last time the market traded 1497 even, let's say, 1,599 contracts printed down into the bid there. That's why it's red. So they print down into the bid, and today that was the total amount that actually traded there. So that probably all happened at one time, one print. They trade 1,599. Not one print, but during a few seconds you had a couple hundred at a time or whatever. Then 1649 traded back up into 97.25. Okay, so there was an offer there, and your buyers lift that offer and they buy 1649 there. The market goes bid. As it went bid, you saw 287 print back down into the bid. Now, you probably lost me right there, but just rewind this and watch it as I'm going through it with you, and you'll be able to pick up what's happening. It's not really that hard. It's extremely simple, but it takes a little bit to understand what's going on. So as it's printing down into the bid, you're going to see it print red and accumulate here. So you see 1599 accumulate here. As it prints up, you're going to see it go blue, and then if it goes bid and they print back into it, it goes red again. So for example, right here, they've printed 9 into 507. If that was to pull off that price down to here and then pull back to that price, that would change. So this updates with the current prints which are taking place at each price, and then this is the total amount of prints. All right, so that's the breakdown of Jigsaw. Now let me just show you this trade so you can kind of see how you can use this. I'm not going to go through everything that could sort of tipped me off this trade. There are multiple factors, but in a nutshell, it's pretty straightforward. Look at this big bid at 97 even. There's 4,174 in the bid. Okay. On a day like this day had sold off pretty much all day, and it had bounced around. Obviously, you see a lot of volume in here. It had touched this price and bounced off of here a few times, not 97, but it clearly at 97.50. You see the profile here. So it had been in this area several times and rallied and sold off and rallied and sold off. So on this particular rundown, it looked to me like they were going to try and crack the lows. And like I said, I have multiple reasons for thinking that. I discuss all of them in the webinars. But anyway, the idea here really goes back to the concept I discuss about leaning on prices. And if you've checked out the little section that I linked to on my website where I published an article in Active Trader a while back, I talk about this in great detail in that article, which I don't even know if you can still order it anymore, but the first section of it is still available on my site. That article goes back to 2009. Here's another reason why I point this out. Okay, these concepts, they never change. The ideas, I mean, the execution has changed somewhat because you got high frequency trading programs, you got a lot more people in the game, you got a lot more liquidity. Yes, absolutely, that plays a role, and I discuss that in all of my material, how I've kind of adapted to that through the years. But the overall concept is the same. It's buy low, sell high, volume moves the market, end of story, period, full stop. That's it, okay? So what you look for are places where the sellers are overwhelming the buyers are overwhelming the sellers, and you try and go with that. That's it. That's all there is to it, okay? What you have here is you got a big bid down here at 97 even, 4,000. Now, often, as you've seen, if you traded for even 3 days, this isn't real. You know, like you may see a bid sit there for 4,000, and then when the market actually gets there, that drops away to 1,000. So you'll have people spoofing the market all day long at certain prices. They throw up bids, they pull them. They throw up offers, they pull them. In this scenario, see, it looked to me like that was probably real. And here's why. If you got a guy who's been short all day long, or a few guys who have been short all day, or maybe they've been short for the last hour, they have no problem covering here because they're getting a great price. If someone does actually print into them at 97, they're buying the bottom of the day, and they're moving size while doing it. So maybe a guy can move 3,000 contracts there at a great price, and he's fine with that. Good for him. He's happy. At the same time, if that does trade in full, I'm pretty sure the market's going to crack through that. That's kind of the setup. Okay, so I'm going to play this for you a little bit. Now, what you can watch is, so for example, see right there? So a 9 lot trades down into 97.25. It goes red. Now you'll watch it kind of accumulate as they print. Now right there it goes. So it goes from 9 to 148 right there. All right. That means 137 contracts, or excuse me, 139 contracts just traded there in addition to the 9. But it accumulates. So you don't have to follow it in the profile. You can follow it right here. And you can see also what's printing back into this number now. So at 97.50, we've seen 36 print back up into 97.50. 37, there's a 1 lot, a 2 lot, a 3 lot. See what I'm talking about? Now that goes from 148 to 186. So now you've had about 40 more contracts trade down. And this accumulates. Prior to Jigsaw, splitting profiles, now you see 276. So they traded 224 down into 25. The market went offer at 97.50, and now they've bought 276 back up into 97.50, and now it's bid 116. That's how you follow it. Now this is going to change around again. I'll show you. And now they're printing back up into 75 again. You see this 300 plus trade back up into 75. 500. Now you see that 600. So you see 627 have now traded back up into 75. Now they drop back down. Now you had 400 trade back down into 97.50. So that's kind of how you follow it. And it gives you a real good indication of what's going on. Now, just FYI, the treasuries are usually dead at this time of day. So there's no correlation here. I'm not looking at anything going on in the treasury market. It was I had traded it in the morning. It was very slow this particular day. It wasn't very hard or very easy to read. Nothing really to be had from it. But I just have them up because I always have them up, and then I pop the S&P up over top of it. So there's nothing to look at over here in terms of what's going on. Now they go offer again. I'm going to fast forward this just a little bit. You see them going down, trading. Okay, so right here you see now they've traded 620 into 25. Offers are following this down. They take it offer. So right here I'm thinking about it already. Now you see my mouse. So I've got my mouse placed. I was thinking about selling 25s. It looked like they were probably going to take it down. Now you see them, they've hit 120 more into this 97 even. All right, so that's gone from 15.99 to 17.19 total. All right, that's how that adds up. So if you go back, you'll see the profile was at 15.99. Now they just traded 120 down into it. Now the total for the day is 17.19. It looks hard to follow at first because there's so much going on, but once you understand what you're seeing, it's really not hard to follow. It makes it much easier to follow. So what I'm banking on right here is I'm banking on them clearing out these 97 evens. And if they do, I'm hoping for like an instant 3 or 4 tick winner, which sometimes is what happens in these areas. It's possible I could hit a wall as well. But you pretty much just got to step up and take a shot if you're going to take the shot. So I'm sort of waiting right here to see if I can see a few more contracts hit 97 even. And you see you still got some buyers at 97.25. It's going to offer, but they're still kind of picking it up and bidding it. So everybody's kind of looking at this, wondering if it's going to hold or not. So now what happens here is they go offer 25. I see that offer build up to almost 600 now. Now I'm thinking you're probably going to get a few hundred are going to hit this even. And if a few hundred hit it, someone might clear it out. So you're going to see me make a trade. I'm going to go short. Right there, okay? So I see them start to hit it. At that point I go ahead and decide to take a shot. Like I said, there's nothing genius about this. I mean, they're breaking lows. It's kind of what you look for if you're looking for them to break lows. But it is a good example of, like I said, the Jigsaw platform, and it's also a good example of you can't really hesitate. I mean, if you have an idea, eventually you just got to step up and take it before it goes. Otherwise, you'll miss the trade. So what you see is I clicked right there. The 97 lights up in red. That shows that I'm short from that price. And over here, you'll see that I'm short a 5 lot. You got a -5, and it goes red. That's the Jigsaw order box. That shows your position. Again, you can set this up any way you want. Because I have multiple DOMs, I have them all kind of lined up on the left-hand side. But if you're a S&P trader only, you can have it lengthwise next to your box or wherever you want it. You can have it on a separate screen if you want. It's all up to you. So, but what's really cool about this now, though, watch how the size trades down here at these prices. Now you see that? I'm going to pause it for you. So check it out. This is what's so awesome about this platform. So 3,326 contracts trade down into 97. Okay, so I was right. That order was real. It did sit there. It did absorb. So you had a real buyer willing to pick up over 3,000 contracts there, or multiple buyers probably, but you probably had one guy picking up 2,000 plus contracts there. As soon as that goes, instantly sets off orders below it. So now you have 1,983 print down into 75, 1,038 print back up into 75. Now it's offer 484. So they trade everything at 97. They trade everything at 75. 573 trigger off print into 96.50, and then 1,000 trade back up into 75 again. All right. So this kind of shows you what's happening. So right there, you got orders now are hitting. So that's what you're looking for. You're just looking for these sell orders to get, set off, and 1,200 trade down into this. Now, what kind of happens right here is the buyers don't just let up on this, which was unfortunate for my cause. Sometimes I'll see a market do this and it'll only get through by 2, 3, 4 ticks and come right back to the price. Sometimes that kind of action will take place and that market will sweep 7, 8 ticks fast, just go bang, 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 bang. You never really know which one it's going to be. You just got to go with the flow. So what happens here is there ends up being so much buying that sticks in these prices that they shake me out a little bit soon. I'm just going to fast forward a little bit here as they trade down. I placed an order. I pulled the order. Market trades down a bit right there. So now what you see is it broke 97. Sorry, I went past my exit there. It broke 97. They trade 3,000 plus there. They trade more than that there. It's 5,000 total trades at 75. 8,000 trade at 96.50. Now you've got 1,400 have traded at 25. So you've already got buyers coming in right here below the lows, and they're scooping this up, which isn't usually good for the cause. Much better to see the market snap through that much quicker, but it didn't. So at this point, I can't really tell. I go ahead and work an order here. I work it too soon. You could have gotten another 2 or 3 ticks out of this pretty easily if I had held tight. At any rate, it's a good demonstration of leaning on a price and, of course, how you can see the split profile in the platform. So right here, after seeing that, I placed my order. You can see it. There's my order is placed. I'm bid at 96.25. You see I'm still red over here. This means I'm still short. Right there I'm filled. So my order goes away. The red goes to 0. And it's a quick 3-tick scalp in the S&P. Of course, as soon as I'm filled, I see 688 hit the next price. And I figure that I have probably just exited too early. Nevertheless, that's a short-term play through the bottom of the day on large size. And incidentally, the market did go down to 95.25, basically, is what happened. I ended up catching at one point another long trade down here. I won't go through all that, but it trades down here, and then it did actually pull back to 97 and rally all the way back to 98.50 fairly easily once all that took place. But it's just a really great platform for being able to see the size. I highly recommend it. If you're trying to learn how to read the order flow and you've never looked at a depth of market very much, this is the route to go. And if you're an experienced trader, quite honestly, this is the route to go. It's, like I said, I was a committed TT user, X-Trader user for years, and I have made the swap. I use Jigsaw now. It costs way less from a month-to-month standpoint, and it's a better platform in the way that it splits prints, in my opinion. I think you have a much better edge being able to see this kind of information. I don't think you have a much better edge. You do have a much better edge. That's just end of story. You do. You can't know that for yourself until you begin to use it, but it really does offer a great edge in terms of reading the order flow. So there's a short-term quick trade for you and an illustration of the Jigsaw platform. I hope you find it useful. I'll be throwing up another treasury trade here in probably a few weeks. And just finished up a couple webinars for anybody who's interested. You want to come check out my sites. hit me up anytime, send me an email. I'm always happy to respond if you have questions. Like I said, these videos are designed to share some information, but obviously also to help people decide whether or not they think they want to scalp, whether this is a style of trading which is good for them. And if that's the case, then Peter and myself both offer products that can kind of help point you in the right direction as far as that goes. At least we can help, cut time off the learning curve. You still have to put in the time yourself, the screen time and whatnot. You still got to understand the game and learn how it's played, but we can certainly help get you pointed in the right direction as far as that goes. And this is also, by the way, this is an excellent example of how scalpers have an edge over swing traders or longer term traders, because inevitably what happens seriously, what you got to understand is that a lot of the selling here is now going to be long positions exiting. So there were going to be long positions that were watching the market hold at 97, and their stop orders get triggered as the market goes below 97. The problem with that, of course, is that quite often this turns into what's called a false breakout. That's the definition for it. You can call it whatever you want to call it. The market will sell off through a point like that. A bunch of guys get hooked. They exit their long trades. They take a loss. And then the guys who are all short buy it, bid it back up, market comes back in. So if you're someone who's playing a short trade there and you're a long-term type guy, it's possible that you would have gone short 97. You would have watched this market come all the way down here, down to the bottom. I do a long trade, whatever. And then it bounces all the way back up from here. I'm just kind of fast forwarding to give you an idea now. So see that? So essentially the market trades all the way down to 95, stops, rallies all the way back to 97. I managed to grab 2 ticks as it bounced from 95.50 to 96 at one juncture there. So I end up scalping 3 down, 2 on a bounce. I make 5 ticks in a move. And someone who's a longer term player goes short, it goes down, it doesn't go any farther, it comes back to them, and now they break even on the trade. Or worse yet, they let it go through them and take a loss on the trade. There are times when you can follow the trend, and there are times when you have to be much more short term oriented and really pay attention to what's going on in the price action. Because there were a lot of clues to be had in there, and major players tip their hands quite frequently. You just have to know what to look for. Okay, so I hope that helps you out in your quest for riches. Hit me up anytime. NoBSDayTrading.com. See you on the next video.